Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D-Rose Report. We're off. It's been reported this week that WWE developmental wrestler Verity Thomas, real name is Vicky Skills, anyway, she recently signed up, well she is a recently signed up grappler, women's grappler from the UK. I mentioned this yesterday. She was removed from the roster page of the official website of Florida Championship Wrestling. Skills announced on her Twitter, though, today that she decided to part ways with World Wrestling Federation over Thanksgiving weekend, citing locker room policies. Alright, up to you. NXT Season 4 contestant Connor O'Brien. Don't know whether he looks like Conan or not. I haven't seen it. I just thought that was kind of a familiar name there. Anyway, he can be reached at his Twitter account. He's on there. TNA World Wrestling Champion Jeff Hardy. He heads back to Superior Court, Moore County, North Carolina next Wednesday and faces, of course, he's facing multiple drug trafficking charges. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to get continued very much because I think it's always usually 3 times on the defense, 3 times on prosecuting side, unless something else pops up. But anyway, he's represented by a pair of attorneys, including top defense attorney who also has presented Tupac Shakur and other celebrities. Oh man, that's got to be big money. Hardy and his longtime girlfriend and companion, let's say Beth Phoenix. Back up on that, Beth Britt. See where my mind is. Anyway, she recently became parents to a baby girl. The couple tends to be coy regarding their marital status, but those close to them say they're not married. Now, how they had a baby and not being married, I have no idea, don't understand that. Raven was said to be legitimately upset at TNA Wrestling, writing him out of TV recently. On an episode of Impact, he was forced to put up his employment on the line at a match against the world champion Jeff Hardy. Hardy wins, the match, and Raven was forced to be booted from the company as a result. And his release from the company, by the way, was legitimate. Though he was written out of television, he then worked an opening match at a live event in Nashville, beating AJ Styles in a clean DDT. And it was said that TNA is having wrestlers parting ways with the company go over in their final match to keep them happy and motivated. Isn't that nice? I'd rather have a paycheck myself. Alright, the fact that new referee, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, Jackson James is the son of Eric Bischoff, was guarded backstage, even back at Turning Point pay-per-view and subsequently TV tapings. Garrett Bischoff trained at the Nasty Boys Wrestling School in Florida before debuting in TNA. It was not a secret to people at the school, of course, but that he was Bischoff's son, but TNA talent were lied to by the company officials even after the news surfaced online, so us people kind of let that cat out of the bag. Stevie Richards, by the way, worked with wrestlers who received tryouts matches prior to last Sunday's, well, I guess Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, I think they've been taping TNA matches. Anyway, many feels that could be his new role. Checking out since EV2, they're kind of disbanded, but they can always bring him back. You never know. Hulk Hogan was moving around backstage recently at a set of TV tapings that he was at Bound for Glory, and he's still noticeable. You can tell he's noticeably in pain. Moves gingerly, they said, but he was in such bad shape at October pay-per-view that most people kept away from him. Jim Ross posted the latest on his blog entry with some highlights right here. Fans responding to Jerry Lawler, following Raw last Monday. He said, "I talked to King today." He said, "We talk generally about once a week." And he was blown away by the response that he got from fans after his main event performance at Monday Night's Raw. Jerry received about 400 emails on his Facebook account within hours after the match. And JR talks about CM Punk's second week of commentating. He says, "I thought Punk did well for his second night on the job, especially considering the magnitude of the main event Monday night that Punk was left to handle alone at crunch time," which he did because Cole got up in the ring. Doing live commentary on a broadcast like Raw isn't an easy assignment, particularly for someone with little experience. Punk adds a unique element to the broadcasting, which is always positive. I'm happy for the Chicago native and enjoy his wit. John Morrison, JR says, even in a losing effort, had a memorable night at Raw with doing 3 solid outings. All right, recent Monday Night Raw in Orlando, a fan sat at ringside dressed up in Hulk Hogan gear. Security made the fan remove most of the Hogan merchandise and then gave him a T-shirt that says "Stand Up for WWE." Isn't that awful? As noted, well, I would have sat down for him if they took my merchandise. Anyway, as noted before, FCW star Andrew Jackson. You remember him from years ago, don't you? He's picked up a few wins over Goldust at a recent Raw live events. Jackson is 7 feet tall, 325 pounds. He's not received good reviews in WWE developmental, but the size of his physique that officials are high on. Jackson was brought to work matches so officials could get a good look at him for NXT. Jackson did not make the NXT 4 roster, though, as officials didn't feel he's ready yet. I don't know why they can't get him and that 7-foot girl to do mixed tag teams. And come on, hell, you got Khali, and he's not the greatest thing either. WWE has 2 pre-game pandemonium events booked for February 6, 2011, which is Super Bowl Sunday. The show is going to be beginning at 1 o'clock, one in Madison, Wisconsin, at the Alliance Energy Center, and the other is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at Wells Fargo Center. Madison show will be built around the Raw brand, while the Philly show is going to be built around the SmackDown. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. Anyway, word going around is that WWE Creative has been told to come up with new ideas for a gimmicked cage to use. There's a feeling that WWE officials think that the Hell in a Cell matches has run its course, and the new type of cage is needed to draw better and pay-per-view buy rates. Of course, you know, Hell in a Cell, we used to see people get bloody and tore up and all that, so you can't do that no more with PG. So maybe they'll come out with a match called the Birdcage. As mentioned before, WWE officials are planning to keep NXT 3 runner-up Naomi Knight around despite losing. Officials are high on her because she's such a good athlete and raises the bar for other women talent. It's said that Naomi and season winner Caitlyn will be pushed in different ways. WWE likes Caitlyn's personality, but it's no secret that her in-ring skill needs some improvement. Well, I tell you, she's built. Woo. All right, Richie Steamboat was at one point planned to star in season 4 NXT, but obviously won't be appearing on the shows. Other names of developmental stars were expected to be involved in next week's season were FCW champion Mason Ryan, Seth Rollins, Jackson Andrews, and Damian Sando, formerly known as Idol Stevens. Aaron, by the way. Rollins, the former Tyler Black, didn't find out he would not be on the show until after the last day and when the announcement came out. All right, I got about a minute to see matches advertised for Raw Super Show January 29th. Springfield is going to be Randy Orton, Juan Cena, if they still have the Juan thing going, and Big Show versus Kane, Miz, and Sheamus. Wade Barrett taking on Rey Mysterio. That's odd. And Daniel Bryan taking on Ted DiBiase, which I think would be a good match. This is the event the night before Royal Rumble pay-per-view, by the way. Randy Orton, he's been pulled off of WWE live shows this weekend, and the next, as he deals with, and the next weekend too, as he deals with injuries reported earlier, kneecap or something. Orton's going to be working Raw TV, though. We'll get to see him. Goldust apparently is is planning a movie that begins filming next year, and it's going to be a horror movie. Next Thanksgiving, he's going to be shooting the first movie, The Fire Witch, which he's going to be directing and producing. He said it's he's doing it in stages. It's a horror film, low budget, my very first, lots of work ahead. I gotta go.